Well, we are days away from the NFL Draft. Welcome to the Northern Steel Podcast, episode 71. I'm your host, Dominic Paskowski, and this is usually a brother podcast, but my brother is AWOL once again. But he sent in a recording so we can at least hear his lovely little voice once more during this podcast. In this little series, we're going over draft profiles that the Steelers could be drafting in a couple days here for the NFL Draft. We've gone over offensive tackles, we've gone over centers, we've gone over receivers, and now we're rounding out the top four needs for the Steelers with cornerbacks. Chris went over Nate Wiggins, he went over Max Melton, and he went over Kyrie Jackson. And I've got three of my own for you, so I'm gonna do mine, and then you're gonna hear Chris do his when I play his audio. You're gonna hear Chris do his selections and his draft profiles, and then we're going to be done with that and move and get ready for draft night. Now, something special. If you are listening thus far into this podcast for draft night, we are live streaming the draft again. Yes, we are on YouTube.com. We're going live on YouTube under Northern Steel Podcast. So please look that up. And we are going to be drafting. I told you something fun's going to be happening. So we're going to be in kind of like a studio-esque kind of space. We got a whiteboard. We're going to have big drafts. We're going to do a spicy challenge. Every time we get one wrong, we're going to eat a spicy wing and die and sweat and cry and give our honest reactions on each and every pick in the first round as they happen. 1 through 32. If we get them wrong, we're still giving our picks as fast as we can. That will be this Thursday live on YouTube, Northern Steel Podcast. Please come and watch. Please chat with us. Please, it'll be entertaining. We had a couple of people join last year. We did the draft, so please come and do that. That, again, is youtube.com, Northern Steel Podcast. We're going live this Thursday. Now, let's get into let's get into some quick NFL news. Zach Wilson got traded today. Good for him. Levi Wallace got signed by the Broncos. Zach Wilson got traded to the Broncos, by the way. So Broncos making just big splash moves left and right. Who knows what they're doing? J.K. Dobbins with the Chargers. I don't know if I said that last week. Maybe I did. Who knows? The last one would be Steelers again. Have a lot of rumors. A lot of rumors in the NFL. There's Vikings could be trading up. Falcons could be losing their draft pick. Falcons could be swapping draft picks because of the tampering with Kirk Cousins. Eagles want to trade up. Steelers want to trade down. There's all these options that could happen. But for right now, let's talk about cornerback prospects. The first one I'm going to talk about is one of the big ones on the board. Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. Just like we always do, we're going to go over the NFLDraft.com profiles and do some quick highlights for you. Terrion Arnold out of Alabama, 6 feet tall, 189 pounds, 31 5/8 wingspan, 8 7/8 inch hand. He's got a prospect grade of 6.45, which will become good in a couple of years. Production score is 91. Athleticism score is 70. Total score is 85, which ranks second of all cornerbacks. Production score was ranked first of all cornerbacks. 40-yard dash is a 4.5. 10-yard split was a 1.54. Vertical jump, 37 inches. He's projected to go in round 1, you guys. So if, we've talked about this, you're looking for a tackle you really want, you're looking for a center you really want, heck, you're looking for a wide receiver you really want. You're not going to get Terrion Arnold then. If those 3 picks are above cornerback for you, if those are more important, they are for me, they are for Chris. You're not looking at Terrion Arnold, but crazy things have happened. I know he's a pre-draft visit as well, or maybe he's not actually, but I know they've looked into Terrion Arnold. His NFL comparison is Marshawn Lattimore, not a bad comparison at all. He's a twitchy man cover corner with outstanding athletic ability and the skill set to bring in ball production at the professional level. Arnold possesses average size, but plays with the desired level of aggression and competitiveness in both phases of his job. He's fast and agile to match up against a variety of receiver flavors on the outside or in the slot. Arnold could squeeze routes tighter off of coverage and limit yards after catch with a slightly different approach. His closing burst allows him to meet throws at the catch point. Arnold will make mistakes with positioning and lose focus at times, but the athletic traits and nose for the ball create quality upside for him to be positioned as CB1 within a couple of years. Strengths: sits under receiver's chin and plays tight Agile feet, slippery hips, smooth coming to balance, very good top end speed, urgent ball challenger, competing hard for the space and the ball, standout ball production, jars throws loose with heavy strikes, and works through blockers and gets after the tackler. His weaknesses: feet become indecisive when hit with release fakes, lacks eye balance, losing sight of play development around him, offers excessive cushion for easy catches from off man and quarters, room for improvement on jump ball play, needs to do a better job of dropping pad level for tackling. Kool-Aid is more of a reliable, consistent than Arnold, but I think Arnold has more pure cover talent. That's interesting because Arnold is rated above Kool-Aid McKinstry, his teammate Alabama, in most mock drafts. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Let's check out some quick highlights of Terrion Arnold. This comes from, once again, Prince Highlights on YouTube. Great break off the ball there on a curl route for the pick, diving pick. Right on his guy like glue, easy money. Now, this Terrion Arnold, if you were to draft him in the first round, here's another pick, easy zone coverage kind of stuff, underthrown ball. If you were to draft a Terrion Arnold, you're looking at obviously the opposite side of Joey Porter Jr. And I mean, yeah, this dude's a stud. That's why he's projecting the first round. He plays that man cover, that tight man cover. Oh, geez, Louise, this guy just threw it right to him. He plays that tight coverage just like Joey Porter does. So you're looking at all man all the time, which could be, if they're good at it, can be very scary when the quarterback does not have a lot of time to throw the ball with TJ and Alex Highsmith breathing down your neck. But I mean, yeah, the bad part is 3 picks in a row have just been tip balls or lame duck passes by the quarterback. That was a good play by Arnold there, really on his guy like glue against Ole Miss. But yeah, he's just a sticky receiver, sticks on his guys, just like we saw from Joey Porter. We talked about how much we like that and how we continue to like that in the NFL. And Arnold does a lot of the same. Watching his guy, was kind of holding his guy the whole way there, but turn his head around, so you're going to avoid the flag on that one pretty easily with turning your head around. It looks like he's got good ball skills, good ball judgment. He turns his head around at least for the ball. He is pretty grabby, which gets Joey Porter in trouble a lot too, but that's the way it goes. But regardless, let's not stick too long on Terrion Arnold. He is a first-round pick. Will the Steelers pick a cornerback in the first round? Ooh, shoot, man, I don't know. I really don't know. Here's another deep bomb, and there's another pick. Easy stuff. A lot of his picks are Hail Mary picks. I find that kind of funny, but hey, that's the way it goes. The next quarterback is one I'm very, very excited about, and one I think is very, realistic. Very realistic that the Steelers could get this player, and that is Mike Sainristil, if I'm pronouncing that right, out of Michigan. Mike is 5'9", 182 pounds, 37/8 arm span, 8.5 inches. Prospect grade is a 6.24, will eventually be an average starter. Let's go to his score breakdown. He had a production score of 67, yikes, 21st. Athleticism score of 71, 15th. Total score 72, 13th of all cornerbacks. There's a reason for that. I'll get to that in a second. 40-yard dash was 4.47. 10-yard split 151. Vertical jump 40. You can jump higher than our boy Terrion Arnold. Projected round 2. I'm hoping at least round 3. He is reliable and tough with athleticism and upside to keep getting better as a nickel corner. Keywords there. Sainristil is a former receiver who plays with surprising field awareness and attention to details as a zone defender. Also, key notes there. He has the twitch and footwork to stay connected with routes and man coverage, but needs more experience at the position to operate with better recognition and feel for routes. He showed top-notch ball skills with 6 interceptions in 2023 and has no problem stepping up and doing his part as a run defender. Sainristil isn't there yet, but should keep improving as a chance to become a starting nickel, keyword, in time. Explosive athletic, let's go to strengths. Explosive athletic traits with above average football demeanor, quick to digest and respond to play design from zone, twitchy takeoff from flat foot coverage, former wideout who can turn back the clock and take it away, comes off the slot with well-timed blitzes, and will lose some due to size, but is a plus in run support. His weaknesses, he spent 2 years as a cornerback and requires more seasoning. Well, we'll see. Below average pedal and match taking on release form press. Needs to get head around on a throw sooner, and man, gets manipulated by head fakes and jukes inside the route. It can be limited to drag down tackling and run support. Mike Sainristil, to me, the reason why he's so realistic and a cornerback I really like is because this, my friends, my fellow Yinzers, is our slot cornerback of the future. If we can get our hands on Mike Sainristil, Mike Hilton 2.0, this is our slot guy of the future. He is tough. He is aggressive. He's got great IQ. He can play the ball. He's not a huge liability in ball coverage. He's not afraid to tackle runners. He's not afraid to get in there and get his hands dirty. He's already got 2 picks in this highlight alone, and they're both from great ball judgment and great awareness on the field. He's just a little firecracker, this guy, and I love watching him play. We just talked about how Terrion Arnold would be the opposite of Joey Porter Jr. And that's probably not going to happen. We're probably not getting an outside guy unless Darius Rush or Corey Trice can take that spot from Donte Jackson, who we just got. But Sainristil would be a slot guy, and that takes over Chandon Sullivan, which is a huge needed upgrade that we could get from Sainristil to this guy. He's 5'9", but he does not play like that. All these highlights at first right now are just all picks. Let's see if we can jump ahead to some actual. Oh, there's another pick. All this dude does is get picks, apparently, even though I want him to be slot. There's another pick. And there we go. There's a big tackle. Let's rewind that tape real quick. A throw out to the flat, and boom. I mean, this dude lays the wood, man. He lays the wood. Michigan with a great year, winning the championship, I do believe. I don't pay attention to college football that well. Oh my gosh, the break on that ball could add another pick right there. I mean, he's just a smart player. He's someone I really like, someone who I could think could. Donte Jackson isn't I'm not most confident in cornerback 2, but I'm definitely not confident in our slot nickel cornerback, and Sainristil's the guy. He's someone I'm really looking forward to. Hopefully them getting. I know they projected second round. I'm hoping he makes it to us in the third. That's my saving grace here. If he makes it to the third, call me a happy, lucky dude, and I'll be over the moon about it. You'll hear about it after the podcast when we go over all of our picks. The last one I got for you guys today is Renardo Green. Renardo Green from Florida State. He's 6 feet tall, 186 pounds. Holy gosh. He is 6 feet tall, 186 pounds, 31.25 inch wingspan, 9.125 inch hand. 6.34 prospect grade, will eventually be a plus starter. Production score was 72, which is 12th. Athleticism score was 67, yikes, at 22. Total score was 68, which is 29th of total cornerbacks. Yikes, yikes, yikes. But that's okay. That's why we look at cornerbacks, because we could get some later. 40-yard dash, a 4.49. 10-yard split, 1.53. Vertical jump, 37.5. Broad jump, 10.10. He's projected in round 3. Let's hear about Renardo Green. Renardo Green is a pure press man cornerback whose inspired coverage against LSU's talented receiving corps should carry weight in his evaluation. Green is patient to match release and possesses good agility to recover quickly when beaten. Elite body control allows him to phase double moves and route breaks. He's quick to close and tackle when beaten. Physical play gets him flagged inside the route and doesn't find the football enough when routes travel downfield. He can improve in run support, but he's more than willing. Green might need safety help over the top, but his route tracing and catch restriction over the first 2 levels give him a good chance of becoming an above-average starter outside or from the slot. Keyword there, folks, from the slot. That's what we're looking for. Yes, Renardo Green is an outside cornerback. All his highlights are from the outside cornerback, but I think he'd be better suited in the slot. He had an outstanding play against LSU's Malik Neighbor and Brian Thomas Jr. Excellent change of direction to phase double moves and comebacks. Flows with bends on route and stays in receiver's pocket. Doesn't allow bigger opponents to bully him for space. Sifts quickly through combo routes and adjusts coverage. Chokes the catch point and reliable run defender. Slot cornerback. That's what I like to hear. Weaknesses: physical playing style is likely to be penalized more in the NFL. We deal with that already. That's okay. Base guards, but fails to find the ball and time up catch disruption. Almost all of his touchdowns allowed came on fades. Unfortunate, but if he's playing the slot, not gonna have to worry about that as much. Average burst on the throw from his trigger. Needs proof he can carry vertical receivers deep. Not gonna be a problem if he is playing slot, like I've said a bunch of times. Here's some of his tape against LSU. Here's actually a fade. Blocks that one pretty well. Could have been a flag. Definitely could have been a flag because he wasn't looking backwards. Here's another one against LSU. Oh, just picked. Just the receiver fell over. He was on him like crazy. Jaden Daniels threw it right to him. Easy pick for Renardo Green to get the ball back. Here he's lined up on the outside again. On his guy like glue. Ball could have been caught on the slant, but gets his hand in there just to break it up. And of course, like any true cornerback, Renardo Green is flexing like he had a lot to do with it. I mean, he did. He put his arm in there to jam it out of there, but definitely still could have been caught. Another play here. He's blitzing and sacks the quarterback. So there's more of that slot cornerback, that nickel cornerback stuff that we like to see. Here he's blitzing. Oh, no, he's on the fade route. Oh, guy could have tried to catch it one-handed. I think that's Keon Coleman, potentially. Maybe not. No, it's definitely not. Here he is blitzing the quarterback again, and he's got we're talking blitzing highlights. Hello, Mike Hilton. Hello, Arthur Mollett. Just kidding. You're a Raven now. But oh my goodness, hits on the run play. I mean, this dude plays like a slot cornerback more than an outside. So all those weaknesses, a lot of them being from the cornerback position, a lot of them from the outside cornerback position, excuse me, doesn't really matter here when he's going to be playing slot or nickel for us, is what I believe he'd play. On his guy like Rice, able to bat it down. I mean, if you can stay on third string wide receivers and tight ends like this and bat the ball down away and be close, I mean, he's going to be doing just fine, as well as he can play the run. He's a good tackler. I mean, what's not to like about this dude? The highlights are there, guys. We always talk about watch the tape and judge for yourself, and the tape's there. Definitely like this dude as a slot nickel guy. He's aggressive. He's shifty, just like Mike Sarenstow. If Mike Sarenstov's off the board, Renardo Green's probably next in line on my docket for someone who I want to see in a Steelers uniform. Looking real good, in my opinion. But that is going to do it for my picks in this draft profile for cornerbacks. Chris has got 3 of his own. Like I said, please stick around and listen to Chris. He's a working father, and he needs the listeners. Chris, take it away right now.
Yo, what's up, everybody? So today we're going to be going over the cornerbacks in this 2024 NFL Draft. A few guys that I'm going to be talking about are, let's just start it off. Let's go hot and heavy with it. Nate Wiggins coming out of Clemson. Nate Wiggins is by far one of my favorite cornerback prospects coming out of the University of Clemson. He is 6'1", 173 pounds, and this dude is crazy fast. I mean, like the amount of hustle I saw in all of his tapes and how quickly he's able to catch up and cut off any kind of separation between him and the ball carrier was absolutely nuts. In the combine, he had a production score of 77, which made him ranked 5th amongst all cornerbacks. Athleticism score of an 82, which made him ranked 6th out of all cornerbacks, with a total score of 83, putting him at the number 4 slot out of all cornerbacks that participated in the NFL Combine. Like I said, when I'm talking speed, this dude definitely had it. He ran a 4.28 40-yard dash at the Combine. Like I said, this man was speedy. He had a 36-inch vertical jump and a broad jump of 10.7 inches. Now, when I say he was just lightning out there, I feel like that might be an understatement. The amount of times that I just saw him going out of his way and maybe making up for the mistakes of his teammates, but he was chasing down guys. And not only was this one play really great, but he ended up doing it twice, where I saw he was catching up on a ball carrier who was literally on his way to the house about to score. And this dude cut off so much separation, caught up to him, and ended up literally stripping the ball at the 1 yard line, giving Clemson the ball back. That's pretty impressive in itself. But not only that, he did that twice, 2 times that he was able to do that. The dude is an unbelievable ball player. His draft projection is round 1, and his NFL comparison is Tyson Campbell. As far as strength goes, he has a very long frame, and he's able to support that by adding good weight. He's very smooth in his back pedal, and he's very athletic around the field. He's able to find, and feel for the rhythm of any given route. And his hips are very loose. He's able to really transition. His lateral movement is very great. He has amazing speed, especially like recovery speed. And not only does he like read the ball well and jump in front of the things, but like whenever he does get beat, which it does happen, this dude hustles his butt off. And most of the time, from what I've seen, dude's making great plays to really just break up a pass. As far as weaknesses go, he gives a little bit too much cushion and man coverage, and he could be a little bit more aggressive and bring in a little bit more decisiveness when QB's about to make that throw, so that way he can jump in front of it. But otherwise, I feel like he is a really talented ball player. Heck, last year in the draft, I talked so much on Devin Witherspoon. Here, the sources tell us he has a better physical talent than Devin Witherspoon, but he doesn't have the same level of dog in him. So obviously, that little bit of dog mentality is a little bit concerning. But the dude can just outright play. In his last year, in 10 games, he had 29 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack, 2 picks, and 6 pass deflections. And that's coming off of a year where he also had a pick for a touchdown in back-to-back years and 13 pass deflections. I think Nate Wiggins is a tremendous talent. I think he's going to go pretty early and someone who I would not mind being a part of our football team. Next guy I have on the list is Mr. Max Melton, coming out of University of Rutgers. So Max is someone that I definitely had to take another look at. When I was first looking at his tape, I wasn't super impressed. Not that he was a bad ball player by any means. I just think that he kind of lacked what I felt we needed from an outside perspective. But when I saw word that people were mainly looking at him from a slot cornerback position, well, that all changed. So let's just go ahead and we'll take a look. And while this his combine prospect profile is pulling up, I'll just go over his stats. So the man is 6 feet, 190 pounds. So he's pretty good and talented. And he played 40 years at the University of Rutgers, where in his senior year, he played 12 games, had 32 tackles, 4 of them for loss. And he had recorded 3 interceptions and 6 pass deflections. Now, these numbers don't necessarily jump off the board, and neither did Nate Wiggins, but like I said, the tape kind of speaks for itself. The dude is a pretty talented ball player. I don't think I labeled it before because I normally like to talk about the overall prospect grade from these players. So just for reference, Nate Wiggins had a 6.27, whereas Max Melton has a 6.24. Again, he is 5'11", 187 pounds. His production score was a 63, which was 30th amongst all cornerbacks. Athleticism score of an 86, which was 3rd. And then a total score of 75, which made him 6th among it. He had pretty good 40 time with a 4.39 with a 40.5-inch vertical jump and an 11.4-inch broad jump. So I think this dude's strength is he is explosive. He's able to jump routes pretty well. I mean, he's able to really sky up there and grab balls. He was an honorable mention for all Big Ten Conference, led the team with 3 interceptions. And dude's, a baller. His projection is round 2, doesn't have a NFL comparison quite yet. But I think he could definitely make a name for himself. I personally think he'd be better in this slot role. But only time will tell. His strengths is he plays inside and outside with good size and length. He's able to slide and slow an inside release from boundary or slot. He's highly instinctive when playing with eyes forward. Dude is just a ball player. So definitely look out for Max Melton as we, move forward. Um, yeah. And then the last guy I have is um, Kyrie Jackson coming out of the University of Oregon. So Kyrie Jackson, just talking on him a little bit too. Um, Again, he's just a fast guy. I felt like his coverage abilities were pretty dang good, and just being able to watch him in his highlights, it was pretty impressive. What I really like about Kyrie Jackson is just his full length. He's 6'3", 197 pounds. Um, that those are just numbers that you really value, especially as a cornerback coming into the draft. Um, so just definitely a name to keep his eye out on. Being at the University of Oregon, they definitely play some pretty good talent out there. And just for starters, I mean, in his last season, in playing 12 games, he had 34 tackles, 5 of them for loss, with 3 interceptions and 7 pass deflections. Like I said, and he came up from the University of Alabama the last 2 years before to finish his career at Oregon. But the dude is, again, really, really talented. He had a 6.15 as his prospect grade, 64 production score, ranking him 27th, athleticism score of 76, putting him 11th, and then total score of 72, putting him in 10th place of all cornerbacks. He had a 4.5 40-yard dash, so a little bit slower than what I was anticipating it to be, with a 36.5-inch vertical and 11.1 broad jump. His NFL comparison is Brandon Asion with a round 4 projection, so definitely someone that you could probably get later on and still feel like you're getting pretty good talent out of him. His strengths are his size and physicality. It's just something that you can't get out of everybody. So teams might, jump at that opportunity to go and get him, but that's just a possibility. His length and strength to stall, release, and undo route timing. He's able to wall off the landing zone when he's in a deep position, and he's very aggressive. Some of his weaknesses is he has some trouble sliding quickly to cut off release from press. He falls prey to attacks on his cover leverage. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Like Nate Wiggins, if he was able to, struggle and maybe not read a route right, he was able to catch up to him with that speed. It might not necessarily be the case with Kyrie Jackson, but something to definitely consider. Watching him again, he's a very fun person to watch. Very good defensive back coming out of Oregon. So I'm curious to see where he will go. But yeah, I would agree with the round grade projection of putting him at 4. I could maybe even see him go up to 3, but we're seeing how hungry teams would be at that point. But yeah, thanks for listening.
And again, what exquisite words from Chris. Not a single stumble, not a single mess up. What a beauty. Love that man. Please join me again soon on the podcast, Chris. I miss you. Thank you for listening to these picks, these podcasts. If you want me to talk about the Chris's picks, Nate Wiggins, obviously round 1 guy, super fast, super light, but a great cornerback. But again, you're looking at not drafting alignment if you want Nate Wiggins. Max Melton played outside. Kyrie Jackson played outside. Kyrie Jackson's probably my least favorite on this list. Same with Chris, but Max Melton has tools to play slot and nickel as well. A lot of these guys, maybe that's the route we go here for now, and leave Donte Jackson as number 2. Hopefully with the speed, maybe he can be better. Or maybe Corey Trice and Darius Rush can really bring it home. We'll see what happens. But that is going to do it for today's podcast. Please follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Please follow us on YouTube because, again, this Thursday at 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern, around there. We will be going live on youtube.com for the draft. It's going to be fun. Spicy chicken nuggets, quick time reactions, anger, sadness, love, passion. It'll all be there at 6 o'clock. Join us on the live. Be there. I will see you guys this Thursday. Please show up. And I will see you guys next week. We talk about the Steelers draft picks. Deuces.